they see that we can solve big problems with no effort. And they kind of like, and females are so intelligent, bro. They can sense this type of fucking, like, they're very hyper intelligent people. They're hyper intelligent beings. So they can sense this whole energy change when the retained man, when a man of vitality steps inside of the same room as them. What's going on, YouTube, man? Big Santana, young Santana in the building, bro. I'm glad to be with you guys today, right now, man. Yes. 1 year later, literally 1 year, man. 300 plus days. This is my 300 follow-up day video. For guys that don't know out there, I have a 100-day video, a 100 follow-up day video, a 200-day video, a 200 follow-up day video, a 300-day video, and this is the 300 follow-up day video, man. So my whole idea behind the follow-up videos is to ultimately keep you guys updated, or let you guys know that I am still on that motherfucking path, and I ain't gonna ever stop. I made my mind up, bro. I took the oath. I took the vow of completely abstaining from all forms of sexual release. Nobody in the world, practically nobody's doing this shit. And my channel is here to debunk all of the myths, all of the rumors, and you know, it's books written about this. It's books written about people that have done this in history. It's like we're like myths, right? I was talking to a female, man, and in fact, my confessions video, the video that says I have a confession, that particular video, man, the female I was tripping with, messing around with at that time, you know what she told me? She said, because I broke up. I mean, you know, we stopped talking to each other, but I still kind of like knew where she worked, and I contact, you know, I interact with her and shit, and I show her the channel, and she was like, I can't believe people like you actually exist. She said that shit. And that just to give you guys, like, that put me on notice. That let me know, that like gave me confirmation that semen retention is like such a out there type of concept, bro. Let alone someone deciding to completely abstain from all forms of sexual release willingly. So yeah, man, this is the video, man. 300 plus days, 1 year later. Not a lot of people really understand how to even, why anybody would ever even take such a path. Through my channel, I'll let you guys know why. And it's not like I can just drop one video and be like, yeah, these are the 5 steps of why I've taken the oath of completely abstaining from all forms of sexual release. Or I've committed to a life of celibacy for this 10 reasons, right? I can't, that's not, it's not like riding a bike. It's more like learning math. It's a skill. That's why they say I'm practicing celibacy. I'm practicing, right? What else do you practice? What else is considered like a practice, right? Being a doctor. That's why they say, oh, I practice, you know, the medical shit, or even law. It's like I practice law. This is my practice, right? So you got to get better with time. So this particular video, man, I'm just gonna give you guys what's happening in my particular life, my specific situations, and at this stage of retaining. Keep in mind, man, I'm only giving you guys bits and pieces because it's forever unfolding. It's like an unfolding flower, a lotus, right? Lotus lifestyle, bro. Big shout out. I'm just like, I'm ecstatic that I'm actually at these levels, man. And I look back at my life just a year ago, man, just 2 years ago, I was in a very deep, dark place, man. And I decided I won't ever go there ever again. And it's females out there, and it's all types of options, right, for young guys like me to actually hyperindulge, like just not even just indulge, hyperindulge in all forms of sexual release, in all forms of threesomes, and you know, I could easily go back to that life today. In fact, every single day I wake up, I have the option to do that. And what makes me as a man, what makes a man is not what he says, what he tells himself yes to, but it's what he denies himself, right? So yeah, 300 plus days, man, 1 year. This is like day 380 for me. So yeah, man, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for checking in. Big shout out. First, outside the country. Melbourne, Australia. Sydney, Australia. Goa, India. Mumbai. Saudi Arabia. London, England. Big Mexico, bro. Mexico City, bro. Salazar, nigga, what's good, bro? Canada. Oh my God, Canada. I got viewers in fucking Toronto, bro. I got viewers in Vancouver. In the States, I can go on and on, but I'm gonna hit like a certain few, you know, big cities like Chicago, big Chicago in the building. New York City, big fucking New York, man. Boston, Baltimore, Philly, Miami, Dallas, Houston, my home, H-Town, Big H. El Paso, San Francisco, San Antonio, and San Diego. All the Sams, right? Shout out fucking California, bro. Y'all out there fucking really, you know, big support, bro. Big fucking support. Oh yeah, and hit me up in my DMs anytime, bro. Like, I'm gonna leave my Instagram in the description. I gotta go to hit up Washington, Seattle. Big shout out Seattle, Washington. Portland, Oregon. Atlanta. Big Atlanta, bro. The Mecca, right? They calling that shit the new Mecca of it all. I don't know why, but I don't know. Maybe you guys can educate me on that shit. But definitely Atlanta. Ohio, bro. Big fucking Ohio. Cleveland and Columbus. Indiana. Big shout out all Indianans, man. All Indianians. Indiana. I think that's about it. But ultimately, bro, this shit fucking real, bro. I'm on that path, man. This is that channel. This is that YouTube channel, bro. I'm on that fucking path. You know? And I've taken the oath. I've taken the vow to completely abstain from all forms of sexual release. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, man, this is that channel, bro. Thanks for tuning in. Let's jump into this shit, bro. Yvng Santana, man. Yvng Santana, man. Alright, first thing is first, man. I want to make this clear, not only to you guys, but to myself. When I first took the oath, when I first vowed to remain celibate, to remain an abstained man, to refrain from all forms of sexual release in terms of intercourse, oral, anal, however you want to, everything. In terms of masturbation, with and without pornography. Just lustful acts in general. When I first took the oath, when I first promised to myself, under you know who, I was running away. I was utilizing this promise to get away from a lifestyle that wasn't conducive to longevity. I was running away. I was literally, like trying to break out of this this way of living, if that makes sense, of being hyper indulged in sex, right? From the age of 11 to the age of 26, give or take, I was running away from something. Today, now that I'm taking it serious, I'm 33 years old now. Now that I'm actually taking it serious, I'm now running towards something. That's what I'm starting to notice now that I'm at this level. I'm no longer running away from indulging in a certain lifestyle. I'm now running towards a lifestyle, if that makes sense. Like, and the thing I'm running towards is destiny. That's the first thing I can think of when I think of, okay, I'm no longer running away from the life. Because when I made the promise, I was like, man, I promised to myself I won't ever put myself in these type of situations again, where I have like 3 females at a time and they're fighting over me and stuff like and I promised to not ever do that ever again. And now it's like I'm promising to utilize this newfound part of myself, this new energy within myself. I'm now promising to accomplish this, something else with this, with my lower urges. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm noticing within myself at this level, right? And keep in mind, guys, I'm not encouraging anybody to completely abstain from sexual release. My channel is here to let you guys know that these are the possibilities that are possible if you do decide to do it. Now, however, I do strongly suggest every man should do 1 year of abstaining from all forms of sexual release. 1 year. And it is tough. It is tough. I've done my 1 year, and I can easily just go back to what I've done. But now that I've grown so much within this small period of time, I won't ever go back now, because I'm on the other side now. I've seen the dark side. Now I'm on the other side. And notice, if you guys haven't noticed, man, with semen retention, like the whole concept of semen retention, is simply just a cluster of creators out there that's making content, and we're all uploading our own experiences, our own type of occurrences, this our own benefits, right? So and we're coming from all over the planet to do, like, it's people in this that's translating in Spanish and shit, like to get online and be like, dude, it works, right? Like, so there's not one source like a university or one, like, we're all coming from different parts of the planet, and we're all coming to the same conclusions. That's why I'm like, eventually every guy on semen retention will eventually realize that it's nothing to run from anymore. Now it's something to run towards. I can see my past, and now that I'm on this path, and now I'm this far within my journey, I can see the future now. I can see my future. And the thing is, I've never had this much control over my future. Not ever, man. And I won't ever give this up for anything or anybody. That's what I'm starting to notice. So, yeah, man, that's point number 1. All right, guys. Point number 2 is this. Now that I'm at this level, I'm able to experiment with my energy. Let me explain here. Another word for semen retention, we're just gonna say vitality. Another word for semen, we're just gonna say vitality. Vitality means importance, right? So vitality. When you abstain from sex or all forms of sexual release, and you absolutely contain and embrace those lower urges, it's two effects that vitality has on the metaphysical side of who you are, right? And in the beginning, I used to have to exercise that muscle down there just to keep myself from going crazy. Honestly, it's like I needed the touch. We're getting intimate here. I needed the touch. So I would exercise the muscle, but I wouldn't release. And that was me slowly but surely getting off of those dopamine rushes, right? Rushes over an extended period of time. I would exercise the muscle, but I wouldn't release. So the two effects that ultimately happened, I'm just giving you guys, that's a bit of a background of how I slowly but surely got off of the pornography side rather than the masturbation. And then eventually the masturbation I had to taper off from the masturbation, but that was me tapering off of pornography and just lowering the dopamine receptors so I can be, just to resensitize myself, right? Just to touch. So I would exercise that muscle, but I would retain. So the two effects that happen on semen retention is either you're exercising that muscle and retaining, and you can exercise that muscle through sex and still retain. See, and that's called Kama Sutra, or you can call it tantric sex. But so yeah, it's either you work out that muscle or the other route, which is you let that muscle completely decay. You only use it to pee. You only use it to urinate. And as long as you can urinate, okay, you're healthy, right? As long as you can urinate and you're having somewhat wet dreams, or if you see a female that arouses you and you actually have the complete effect, you're good. Like, you're healthy. That's how you know you're still operating properly down there. Right? Okay, so the two effects. You exercise the muscle, but you still retain, or you just let the muscle decay. In the beginning, I exercised that muscle faithfully, and it was me. Like I said, it was a necessity. And the effect of doing that is you get the female attraction comes, but they kind of like. It's like a standoff almost with the female attraction. They're like, I can feel the energy he has, but it's still something there I can't quite put my hand on, but it's there. Okay, so that's the effect. You have this massive attraction from the female, but they treat you as if you still release. That was my experience in the beginning. Now that I'm on this other side where I'm letting the muscle decay, I'm only using it for the only thing I can use it for, which is to urinate. Shout out to my Ferrari picture, the famous Ferrari picture. But now that I'm on this other side where I'm letting the muscle decay, I'm getting a different type of reaction from my immediate reality, which is the men that pop up in my life that I interact with on a day-to-day basis. They're on the attack. And the thing is, I'm being favored by the female. So with one side, if I exercise the muscle, but still retaining, by the way, I'm not being as favored by the female, but the guys, I'm like getting the respect. They're like, yeah, holy shit, it's him. But from if I let the muscle decay, it's the opposite. I get all the praise, and yeah, oh, the females, they're like, oh, yeah, come sit here, come sit right next to me. And then the guys are more like, there you go, let's get them. If you let it decay, you ultimately letting that energy rise upward. And the effects of letting the muscle decay, the energy rising up has that effect. And if you exercise that muscle, right, and that energy ultimately compresses down, and the effects of having that energy, that vitality stay in be compressed into those lower realms, that's the effect. So that's what's happening, you know, on an energetic, metaphysical level type of shit. Like, it's crazy, bro. I want to let you guys know that's what's happening. And just in case you haven't tuned into any of my other videos, man, look at my 100-day video, my 200-day video, my 300-day video. I'm letting you guys know the benefits of semen retention from a metaphysical point of view, from a realistic, direct, practical of what's happening in my direct life. That's the proprietary part of my channel. I'm giving you guys what's happening in my life, in my immediate life, so you guys can interpret as much, or can relate to it as much as you guys can in your direct, immediate life. So yeah, man, that's point number 2. Point number 3 is I'm like, people don't understand, man. Vitality is such a subtle thing, but after a certain period of time, it's so ubiquitous, it's so present that it's no longer subtle. Especially vitality that a man gains from semen retention. So vitality, right? What makes a man vital is his vitality, right? Is his semen. The ability to be as much as a man as you possibly can, right? That's the best way I can put it into words. What's happening, right, at this stage in my life, at this stage of semen retention for an extended period of time, I just can't emphasize that enough, man, is that I'm becoming the man that's fully me, right? I'm becoming the 100% being that I could possibly be, the best version of myself, by default and without effort. That's what's happening. So people don't understand, like, what a man's role is to this reality. We're de-amplifiers, right? We're neutralizers. We bring a large concept and we bring it down to a very small, solved problem. And the reality on a metaphysical level, that's who we are. From the perspective of a female to this reality, what females are to this reality are amplifiers. So they bring a small little spermatode and they have this, tiny, small egg, right? This microscopic friggin' egg, and this microscopic spermatode, and he goes inside of this egg, and she incubates the egg, and the egg becomes a living, breathing me, right? Us. This egg becomes a living, breathing human being. She amplified this microscopic cell into an entire being that has bills to pay, right? So they're amplifiers to this reality. And if you look at Mother Nature, right, that's why you think they call it Mother Nature. Mother Nature. So this whole world is simply a female, right? And then if you think about Father Time, right, time, the concept of time, we're actually personifying nature. through time. That's what time, when they say, oh, time, Father Time, time, the concept of the calendar and what it actually represents on the metaphysical level. That's ultimately what my whole channel is about. The metaphysics, what's happening on a metaphysical level to a man after retaining. And that's why I think I'm attracting so many people at once, because I'm not just diving to the religious part. I'm not limiting myself to just the religious part. I'm not limiting myself to just science. I'm combining the two, and it's called metaphysics, right? The metaphysical, the philosophy, adding the philosophical part to it, to where it's like it's coming from my perspective, right? So, and I'm questioning two conflicting different studies, if that makes sense. And I'm no expert, by the way. It's just simply my particular experiences, and I'm putting it in the best words and documenting it, you know, as best as I possibly can. But yeah, amplifiers. They're amplifiers to this reality. Females are amplifiers. Males, the male of the human race, are de-amplifiers. So we can turn a big problem and make it into small. Skyscrapers once upon a time was actually just an idea that was just massive. Now we're throwing up skyscrapers just because we can in the middle of the desert. Man-made islands, bullet trains. Now they're taking wings off of planes. So these were huge, inconceivable type of ideas once upon a time, so out of reach today, and now they eventually we're de-amplifying these massive problems. That's what's happening in my life. Shit, it's like shit'll be thrown at me that's so like big, like life altering. Now I'm at the point where I can de-amplify those massive problems with no effort. That's what's happening, man. Like, I just can't believe this is me actually doing these things. But yeah, when it comes to and I think just to elaborate on this one particular observation that's happening in my life, I'm starting to believe that that's what draws females towards people like us that are retaining for an extended period of time. They see that we can solve big problems with no effort, and they kind of like, and females are so intelligent, bro. They can sense this type of fucking, like, they're very hyper intelligent people. They're hyper intelligent beings, so they can sense this whole energy change when the retained man, when a man of vitality steps inside of the same room as them, right? That's what's happening in my life. For New Year's, bro, I didn't even make a video on this shit, but for this past New Year's, and on New Year's Day, the New Year's, when the ball dropped, the celebration of this year, 2023, I went to a party, and I had two bitches fighting over me. I mean, completely just strangers. And they was like, nah, like, I talked to them first. And I'm like, bro, we just had a party, like, chill the fuck out, like, what the fuck, like, y'all, you know, shit is not even that serious. But they can sense that type of vitality. Yvng Santana in the motherfucking building, bro. Yvng Santana, bro. Yvng Santana, bro. Alright, guys, the last thing I kind of want to touch on is, what I'm noticing is it just might be, what's happening out there just might be the effect of what was once called the mouse Utopia experiment. I believe this was the 70s. The mouse Utopia experiment. Sometime in the 70s, I want to say the 60s, but I believe it's the 70s. There was this doctor. He did an experiment called the mouse Utopia experiment. What he did was he put, I think, 4 or 2 mice, or it was like a cluster of mice. Not a lot. I think it was like 6 or 7. I'm not sure, but it was a very small amount of mice. He put it in this put them in this maze type of like complex, and he gave them unlimited amount of food. So the mice really didn't have to hunt. They didn't really have to work for their food. So what happened was they would populate. They would populate to, and he did this experiment over and over and over again, and he had the exact same result pop up every single time he did the experiment. So what these rats would do, they would populate, and the population grew so much, so fast, up until a point where the population would peak almost, and then it'll come to a complete peak, and then it'll come to a complete crash. I mean, just downward, just not even like a little trickle down the stair type of populate, like depopulate. It was just a complete straight down line of population. So population growth. And what this scientist, what this doctor / scientist eventually came to conclude was that it was these group of mice that would pop up at the peak of a population of his experiment, and he would eventually come to know that these mice pop up, and they were all men, they were all male mice, and he would name these mice the beautiful ones. The beautiful ones. And these mice, they would eat, and they would hide, and they would groom themselves. They would eat, not necessarily hide, but they would isolate themselves, and they would groom themselves. That's all they would do. And they were male mice. You gotta look it up, man. The Mouse Utopia experiment. So what? And these guys, these mice, these male mice, would pop up every single experiment. I'm gonna take that concept and relate it to what's happening in my life. I believe, me personally, and let me put this in there too. What the beautiful ones, right, would eventually isolate themselves from was the general population of mice. And the general population of mice would have these feasts of foods, right, of eating, and then they would do all type of unnatural things, such as bite each other's tails off. They would tear lambs off of each other. They'll have like weird types of sexual rituals, and these are rats. These are mice doing this shit. So the beautiful ones would isolate themselves from that. Every single experiment, man, it blew my mind. If you're interested in that type of stuff, but I'm just telling you guys the synopsis of what the experiment was about. But the beautiful ones, I'm inclined to believe the beautiful ones are now here in terms of the human population, because it's men out there like myself that are actually coming to the conclusion that they will just completely bred themselves out of the human gene willingly. I won't ever have a kid. I won't ever be a father willingly. The beautiful ones are here, you know, and it's arguable because content like mine wouldn't be growing at the rate it is growing. 2,200 views per month as of February of 2023, and I just started this channel in February of 2022. So content like mine wouldn't be growing at the rate it is growing if there wasn't this outcry from young men out there. So I'm inclined to believe that in our civilization today, as technically advanced as we are, the beautiful ones are here. And it's streamer retention videos out there that says like, that's titled like, yeah man, people stare at you. People are staring at me. Everywhere I go, they stare. Even me today, I'm like, damn, I walk into this grocery store and I'm like, fuck, everybody's fucking staring at me. Oh, I forgot. I'm beautiful, right? I'm handsome. I'm a fucking man. I can feel that I got all this testosterone. Like, it's there, right? They say it's the hormone of the gods. I can feel it. And guys that are masturbating, that are just constantly having sex and ejaculating all day, they won't ever get this experiment. They won't ever get this experience. Not ever. The beautiful ones are here. And as far as the general population, just like the general population of the rats, the general population of the human beings are masturbating all the time. They're having sex, they're hyper-indulging in it all the time. But there's this outcry from young men out there that's just, it's becoming so loud now that channels like mine, like bro, like I didn't think my channel would ever be just at 100 views. Like not even 100 views per video. And I'm getting thousands. So, and I'm getting subscribers. Like, you know, I'm forced to take it serious now because the outcry is becoming that much more louder. So, yeah, the mouse Utopia experiment, it's a real thing. And here's the kicker. When the public found out what this scientist was doing, they forced him not to ever do this experiment ever again. But look it up. Correct me if I'm wrong. Look it up. I'm no expert, man. I'm just simply bringing to you guys my own personal experiment, my own personal experience. Right? So, yeah. I'll have to end it with that, man. You guys got all of me, man. You got all of me. All the time, man. And the outcry from young men out there, man, is young creators like myself that's willing to show up and commit and say, yes, you're more than enough. And say, yes, you can change. And say, yes, it's worth it. Right? Destiny. We can create our own destinies. But yeah, man, I gotta end it with that. Look out for my 400-day video. Look out for my 400 follow-up day video. I'm coming. It just doesn't stop. And I'm endlessly growing. I'm continuing to build. I'll continue to do this for the rest of my life. And that's my intentions. You know, I always bring the outcry for young guys out there, for young me's out there, you know. And I do this because of the young me, the young self that I once was. I had that same outcry, right? So yeah, continue on with the journey, man. Continue on with the path, right? I know I am. I know I am, right? I gotta end this the right way, man. The outcry for young guys out there is so loud. It's becoming unbearable. And now that's why people like me, Yvng Santana, man, I'ma always bring all of me every time. In this life, you are all you have. But you're more than enough. If you hadn't heard it from anywhere else, you heard it from me first. Lamont Sanai.